Oh, that's pretty soon. Do you have like a due date for when everything's supposed to be turned in?
I'm probably gonna start putting zeros in over the weekend, just so that next
Okay.
week, if you've got a zero, you know you need to get it done. But what I've heard, and I think the way that I'm gonna operate no matter what, whether it's a college class or not, and I hope this is in line with what Mr. Maxwell is saying with Grace Week, is that by November 19, that is the lowest your grade will go. So whatever your grade is on that day, you have that low of a score. It will not go lower. I won't put in surprise assignments that I was holding on to. I'll just,
Okay.
that's the grade,
Just throwing a
right?
just throwing a pop quiz.
I know, right? Oh, it's on Monday. You never turn. No, that won't happen. It will be very clear. And if it's not, we can talk about it. But I will commit to saying this one, like if I've got it written in Power School on the 19th, and my hope is actually by Monday, not by Friday, by Monday in Power School are everything you need to do, every zero because it's missing, or everything that I still have left to grade, but it's there. And then all next week is all about what do you need? What do you have left? And then Grace Week is your opportunity to improve, raise the grades. Grades are only the only direction grades go during Grace Week is up. 15. F of x equals x squared minus 5. Okay. Find a domain on which each function f of x is 1-to-1 and non-decreasing. Write the domain in interval notation. And then find the inverse. Okay. So first of all, this is a parabola that shifted down 5 spaces. And what the questions are saying is that we actually are excluding the decreasing section of the graph. We're not even going to look at everything to the left of 0, because so long as we are between 0 and infinity, the graph is going to be increasing. So this is our domain restriction. Don't look at anything on the left of the graph.
Only looking at the right side.
Yep. That's the majority of this question. And the second part says, well, let's find the inverse. So the inverse would be switch x and y. Remember, f of x is y. And then solve for y. Now, because this is an equation and we're square rooting within the inside of an equation, there's technically 2 answers. However, there's not 2 answers because of what we did right here. We're restricting the domain. So we're not looking at negative x values, which means that we're only looking for y values that are going to be positive. And so that's the part to this problem that is maybe the last part. There wasn't a lot to the last part, but that's really kind of challenging, is we're only looking at this function where the y values are positive. I'm going to let you see the notes, but I do want to go graph this whole thing in Desmos just because the graph I think is much more clear than what I wrote down.
Oh, I just realized what that was. Okay, never mind. I got it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm doing things in marker. It comes up nice on a document.
That's cool.
Pencils look like.
Oh, is that a plus and minus sign, or is it just a plus sign?
It was a plus or minus, except we restrict all the negative x values. So because we restrict all the negatives, we don't even need the negative anymore.
It's just a plus sign left.
It's just the plus sign.
Okay.
That's why this conversation on domain is all of them that are positive, allows us to not look at the minus answer, the negative square root. Okay. Let me open up Desmos. I'll leave these notes on here for just a little longer. Go y equals x squared minus 5. All right. Do you have the notes written down or copied or screenshotted? Are you ready for me to move on?
Yes.
Okay, here's the picture then. Okay. So this is the function. I'm using y instead of f of x. But I'm also going to restrict this. 0 is less than x is less. Oh, there we go. So I'm looking at basically what's in red.
Okay, yeah.
All right, I'm not looking at anything on the left side of the graph. Now, when I switch x and y, right, it's technically both halves, but I only want the positive half. Only looking at what's above the y-axis. Or the way that I did it is the cheater way on Desmos. Here's the better way. There we go, plus 5. There should be a plus right here, shouldn't it? Oh, my bad. That should be a plus. Which is why I'm glad I graphed it. Okay,
So it's not the minus sign, it's a plus sign?
yeah, it's got to be a plus sign. I forgot I'm adding 5 to both sides, so I got to have a plus 5.